So, hello everybody to this educational session on how to use Charisma effectively. Today's topic will be working with a project, how to create a project in Charisma, and how to further utilize this project to bring structure to your stakeholder advocacy development. Let me first log you into the platform. As you all know, the website where you need to go to is danone.st2go.net, and this will bring up a pop-up box where you have to log in your first security username and password. The first username is Danone with a capital D, and the password is Danone, same thing, capital D, and then 82 equal sign. You can click the Remember My Password button so that next time you go in here you don't have to do that again. So after pressing OK, it will bring you to the main login page of Charisma, and here you will have your own personal username. In my case it's P Vertigem with capital P, capital V. Same for your name. And then your personal access code, password, which is initially also the same as your username, unless you've changed it after first login. If you press login, it brings you to the main opening screen of Charisma, and here you can start defining working with projects. To give you an indication, here on the left hand side under reports, you can click on project overview, and this will bring you a list here of the current projects that have already been defined. So just to give you an example of what is already happening around the world. Now let's imagine you want to create your own personal project on top of this list. Well, it's easy to do. First of all, why does it make sense to create a project? Well, if you go to the search page of Charisma, here, enter the network, you will have an easy way of finding all the stakeholders that you need by selecting a different combination of filters over here. Like let's examine, I want to see all the KOLs from Brazil. You select KOLs in Brazil, and you would find that in Brazil there are 68 key opinion leaders listed into the system already. Well, that's a nice way of finding your people, but usually you work with stakeholders in a particular project. The idea of Charisma is that you define a project that requires the deployment of a number of stakeholders, KOLs or politicians or a combination or regulators or payers, and bring them together in one project. That's why it's convenient to define a project. Here you see already that this KOL, for example, Jacqueline Arroyo, is already a member of a project, namely Neocate Reimbursement Brazil. So how do we create a project? Well, there's a specific button for that on the home page. So we go back to the home page here, and you see here the option Stakeholder Administration. Stakeholder Administration has an option here, Link Stakeholders and Projects. Well, let's click that. The idea is that you first select on your page, through the filters, the stakeholders you want to bring into your project. So let's do this again. Let's go for the KOLs in Brazil and bring them up. And you see here the list of all the KOLs in Brazil. And you see already some are part of a project in this column here, what I told you before. Adertal and Elisa are, Sabra and Carvalho are member of this project. Now let's imagine you're going to create another project. For example, the project called Brazil Tender, something like that. You just type in the project name over here, and you copy it so that you copy this text to anybody who will be part of that project. So let's assume these three people, this fourth people is going to be part of this project. But also one here, for example, that is already part of this project can be member of a second project by simply typing a comma and again Brazil Tender. Now you have now defined the project Brazil Tender. You press save. And now these people where you've put Brazil Tender in their project field are now member of this project. What you can do now, of course, is go to a different group of stakeholders. For example, let's say payers in Brazil. Let's see how many payers there are. I'm not sure yet. In fact, 19. And you can put these ones also a member of that project. See? So you can combine different types of stakeholders into one specific project. Press save again. Okay, and now the project has been defined. Now let's show that to you. I go to the home page, I go to search the network, and I'm going to not search by KOL or Brazil or whatever. No, I'm just going to type in right away the project here. That was Brazil tender. So if I type in this name in the project filter field, and I'll bring up the exact names that we've just added to this project. So you see here a couple of KOLs and a couple of payers are now in this project. That's how you define a project, and it allows you to very easily find back those people tied into a project. At a later stage, once the project has been defined, I will teach you how to set up a communication plan for your project, because that's what you want to do. You want to create a project, proactively identify the people you're going to be putting into that project, and then finally put on paper a communication advocacy plan for that. And that will be part of the next lesson. Thank you, and bye-bye.